Starting the tape now for the interrogations for the suspects of the murder of Horace Hefty. Could you state your name, please?
Bernie Enders.
All right, Bernie Enders, what's your occupation?
I'm the personal assistant to Mr. Hefty. I travel with him and handle lots of the details he doesn't like to deal with.
How long have you been doing that job?
About 6 years. Before that, I drove a concrete truck. I wrote Mr. Hefty after he first started writing his column, and he offered me a job.
So with Mr. Hefty dead, you're out of a job.
Temporarily, but I'm sure I can make do for a while.
Well, maybe you could be a writer yourself.
What makes you say that?
Well, we found Mr. Hefty's briefcase, and one of the things in it was his cell phone, and some very interesting texts.
Oh no.
Oh yes, Bernie. A text conversation between you and Horace in which it was revealed that you are his ghostwriter. All of those glorious columns, blog entries, podcast scripts, best-selling books, they were all written by you, based on things Horace told you. That must have been terribly galling for you to watch him get that fame and fortune.
It was awful.
I'll bet.
Horace was such a fool. He couldn't string a sentence together. And he prided himself on being ignorant about computers. He couldn't even turn on his own cell phone. I tried to keep up on new technology. The podcast was my idea.
So tell me then, Bernie, you weren't really paid very much for your work. Why?
Oh, I was young and stupid. When I sent Horace an email with suggestions for how he could improve his column, he complimented me and I was thrilled. I had always wanted to be a writer, so I signed a contract to be his ghostwriter. But it stipulated that my identity could never be revealed. Suddenly, he became famous because of me. I was the Phantom Feaster, not him. But he got all the fame and fortune, and I was a nobody.
Well, why didn't you quit?
I loved writing. And I never would have made it on my own. I was paid so little, I wasn't able to save up any money. Plus, Horace would have ruined me if I ever tried to leave. He was a very powerful man. I really hated him. But I didn't kill him.
So tell me, where were you last night?
I was here at the restaurant scouting around with Serena, the contest organizer, until around midnight. Then I left and went back to my hotel. I came back here around 7 a.m. I had to come early to make sure everything was shipshape. Horace never arrived until the last minute.
So you knew Horace's exact schedule for the day?
Oh yes, Serena had everything planned out to the minute.
Can anyone corroborate your whereabouts from midnight to 7 a.m.?
No, I was alone. I was up late writing a review. Then I went to bed.
All right, Bernie. Don't leave town. I might need to speak to you again, but for now, we're through. Please state your name.
Nicole Slaw.
And you work here as a waitress.
Yes, I'm a waitress. I've been here since the day the doors opened. It's good money, or at least it was, until lately.
Oh, what changed things?
Probably that awful review that Horace wrote. He really is a most vile man. Left terrible tips too. What a cheapskate.
How vile was he, Nicole?
What do you mean?
Well, we found Horace's briefcase, and there was the most interesting letter in it. It was a letter he'd written to you about an offer that he made. In fact, kind of seemed like a blackmail note.
Oh, that vile man. After he wrote that review, our business really suffered. And he knew that. He came back one night and told me if I'd go out on a date with him, he'd write a positive review. Can't you imagine? Told him to forget it. Well, our business kept on getting worse. My tips were going down to almost nothing. And he kept asking. I was losing my mind. It was blackmail, but I couldn't do anything about it. And I wasn't about to give in to him. But I was losing my job.
I'm very sorry to hear that. But you're probably pretty glad about his death.
I didn't shed any tears about it, that's for sure. But I didn't kill him.
So where were you last night?
I I worked the early shift. I was off at 8 p.m. I went to do my laundry, went out to the gym, and I went home and to bed around midnight.
Do you have any proof of that?
I doubt it, unless my neighbors saw me drive home. I did see people at the gym. They could tell you I got there around 10:30 p.m.
So you were not at the restaurant at all from 8 last night until this morning?
No, wait a minute. I almost forgot. I did come back here. I had forgotten my gym bag.
What time was that?
Let's see. I think it was around 10 p.m. or so.
Did you see anything unusual when you were here?
No, really. I came back the back way. Oh, wait a minute. I did see Chef Dottie and Red back in the storage area. They were looking over a piece of paper, sort of like they were checking things off. Then Chef Dottie handed something to her. I don't know what it was, and she left towards the dining room.
You're very observant.
Thanks. Waitresses have to be, you know.
And you have a key to the building.
Yes, I work such odd hours. Sometimes I open and close the place.
Do you like the food here, Nicole?
Sure, it's pretty good.
You are particularly fond of that tasty barbecue sauce, aren't you?
Yeah. So what? What are you getting at?
Well, it's just that a used napkin with the restaurant barbecue sauce on it was found crumpled beneath a bag of concrete in the back storage area. And the fingerprint and the DNA reports, well...
Okay, so I eat lots of barbecue. Big deal, I'm sure. The napkins all over the place. And what concrete are you talking about? What was a bag of concrete doing in our storage room? I've never seen one there.
Don't withhold things from the police, Nicole. We will always find you out. Now, I may wish to talk to you again later, but for now, you can go.